much like before, allow me to apologize in advance if I get excited about this. I do believe this is going to be one of the cornerstones of your consulting practice. It certainly has been of ours. The information we're sharing with you here, we have discussed with clients in 15 countries around the world. This is really very powerful stuff. Maybe some of you have taken this before, but we asked you to complete a profile in advance of this. You're going to be looking at it now, but let's talk about what this is. First of all, it's a DiSC profile, which stands for DISC. The reason that the I is small is that's a copyright from the Inkscape Publishing, which you now have access to all of their tools. D stands for dominance, I for influence, S for steadiness, and C for conscientiousness. Well, let's talk about what DiSC is. First of all, it's a universal language. It is the most widely used tool, personal profiling tool that's out there. Okay, it is widely used. Now, there's a couple of things that I would really like you to be thinking about. Number one is that the way that we use it, the way that we're going to work with you on using this tool, is going to be dramatically different and set you apart a great deal from anybody else out there who knows it. One of the first things is the world-class performance positioning. That is completely ours, and that is unique to EX3 Matters. So that's going to help set it apart. It's a universal language. It's the 4 factors, DISC, and this is needs driven. Let me explain that. This is not, this is our natural style, how we perform or how we act in certain situations based upon our needs. If our needs change, our styles might change a little bit here and there. Let me give you another way to look at what this is, okay? I think of this here as a bit of a bullseye, okay? Where here, at the core is genetics, all right? There's been a study done over the last several years. It was completed, and they spent literally 20 years discussing what's set, or is it nurture or nature, okay? And after 20 years of study, you know what they found? It's both. It's both. So at the very core here is genetics. I mean, we can't argue who our parents were. We are who we are. I'm 6'1", not 5'1", so I played basketball. Wasn't a jockey. So the genetics. Here though, and this is really important, here in the center is kind of our values, not our needs, our values. What we deem to be, when push comes to shove, the most important thing. So there's some interesting studies and things around needs and values. And your values are the single largest determinant of your behavior. What you value, what's important to you, is just critical as you make decisions. Now, sometimes when we're in our unconscious tendencies, we may do things on autopilot that our values, had we thought about it, may have been a little bit different. So here are our values. Then out here, okay, are kind of our natural style or our surface traits. Those are just the little body armor, I like to think, that we put on and we go about doing what we do. Have you ever met somebody that, maybe the first 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, 10 interactions you just kind of didn't like. You thought maybe they weren't maybe your kind of person, or they weren't somebody that you really wanted to know. Well, the bottom line is maybe you didn't connect with their surface traits. You ever meet somebody and then after you've known them for a while, you get to understand their values and what they really are at their core, and now maybe they're good friends. Or vice versa. Maybe you met somebody that instantly, they were kind of nice, you liked them, they were enjoyable. But the more you got to know them, you realized that maybe your values didn't click. So as we go about looking at this, DiSC is that universal language that really helps us to understand what are our needs-based kind of traits that we use, frankly, when we're kind of on autopilot, when those are just our unconscious tendencies. This is kind of what we do and why we do some of the things that take some of the actions that we take.